I will be presenting this presentation in two parts. First, a small story, very non-technical, everyone will understand for sure. And then a little bit of a hands-on, where we'll see some of the tools I wrote to write BreakFree. But first of all, I'd like to thank Ciro for organizing this beautiful event. Thank you, Ciro.
Grande Ciro.
You're welcome.
And he's been a great help for me, and I think is the reason I am here today.
Oh, I will become that now.
Okay, don't be. So this is a small story about how I came to know about TI and how I came back into the TI scene about 33 years later. So this was me when I was just 16 years old, and it was the first computer that my mother bought for me in December 1983. So it was after the heydays of TI, in fact. And I used to program a lot with BASIC only then, and I was like said that I couldn't program in assembly because I didn't have mini memory, and it was the time when you couldn't find many things for the Texas Instruments. I remember I wrote Pac-Man in one single day, and then my father accidentally switched off the power supply. And I couldn't explain it, I didn't save anything onto the cassette. And I was crying, and my father said, "What's happening? You just turn it on again and you'll find your work." But he didn't understand that it was volatile memory. So then I recorded it the same day. I stayed on late at night until I finished it and saved it onto the cassette and circulated with all my friends. Then, 32 years later, because by the way, my TI died on me one day, and I bought an MSX instead, and I just put it in storage and forgot about it. But 32 years later, I was in this vintage computer fair. I just went there as a guest, looking around, and my son, the boy in blue, he was asking about what are these, and is this just the keyboard, or is it the whole computer? And I told him it's a whole computer inside the keyboard. And I told him I have one, but I have to fish it out from my storage. And I went to the storage room, and I forgot that I had put it there not working. And I plugged it in, and it didn't work. So I said maybe it's the power supply, so I just checked the power supply. There was no voltage, and this is what I did. By the way, in between, these are my Maltese friends from the Vintage Computer Club Malta. In between, I joined the club that organized that fair that day. I just signed in my registration form, and I became a member of the Vintage Computer Club. So then I went home, and I found an ATX power supply of a normal PC, and wired the 12 volts and 5 volts required inside the TI. And actually it worked, but it only worked for 10 minutes. And I got the black screen of that with that long sound. And I said maybe I can disassemble it and find out what's happening. So I went into my little lab, but couldn't see anything obvious that might have burned. And I was going on to Atari Age, trying to see if someone can help me. And some people were telling me it could be the VTP chip, it could be the memory. So I started desoldering. As you can see, half of the memory chips are already desoldered in the photo. And I bought new chips and a new VTP. And even some people were telling me it could be the oscillator, that brown thing in the middle, that could have been broken. So I also bought an oscillator and replaced it. But many hours later, still, I couldn't make it work. And even with all the chips replaced, I couldn't make it work. So I went on to eBay and bought another TI, and I was happy with it, and my son was playing games on it, and I bought a lot of cartridges, and I was happy maybe for 1 week. But then I was saying I should be fixing the other TI, not playing around with games. And so I disassembled the new one, the one that I just bought, and tried to see different voltages between the one that is working and the one that was not working. But I ruined both of them and both of them. Yes. But you know who came to the rescue? It was Ciro Barile, who I was talking on Atari Age, and he told me, no worries, just send me the motherboards. There is David Agustin, who can actually fix them. So I sent him, by the way, before sending him the two mainboards, I bought a third one.
Just in case.
And now my wife told me, don't touch it, don't open it, just play with it. In fact, I bought a unit then and put it in the unit with light on it, and well, as the TI deserves. And I sent the motherboards to Ciro, and Ciro fixed the motherboards, and now I have 3 TI-9948s, which all of them work. And because I was so happy with what Ciro did, I made a promise that I will write a game and dedicate it to the TI-99 Ethereum user club. And I will write it in GPL, and they have to see how to learn this dreaded language, which I didn't know anything about it. And this was January 2016. So I was looking in forums and reading PDFs about GPL, trying to figure out from where to start. At least I print something on screen or something. But even to execute it on a real machine, you need hardware, you need Uber-Grom or whatever. So I said, I won't worry about that, someone else can do that. I will worry about learning the language. So luckily, whilst I was going around, I found this cross-assembler. It's called XDT99, and the assembler for GPL is XGA99, thanks to Ralph Benziger here. I think he deserves a round of applause. And I could actually compile my GPL software and execute it on Classic 99. And at least if I don't want to go into the extra steps of burning a chip and see it working directly on the machine, it would be good enough for me. And so I started coding, and when you have the determination of doing something and finishing it, you will find a lot of help. This is all I can tell you. The message here is that if you really want to do something, you start asking around, and people will help you. Trying to do everything alone, I think, is very difficult. But once you open up, and I found Ciro helping me on hardware stuff, and Jonathan Abela, I'll tell you a small story about it. It's a Maltese friend of mine, but I will tell you after this. James Fetzner, who had participated in the creation of the Uber-Grom, who helped me put it on real chips, and Gregory McGill, who distributed through Arcade Shopper. So at least the distribution channels and the putting it on a real cartridge, I didn't have to worry about that. And in August 2016, I had all the code ready, but no music and no sound effects. and I was really scared that I would not finish the game because I couldn't compose music. So what I did, I said at least I should build a tool that makes it easy to make music run on GPL. And so what I did, I fired up Excel, and I made a macro inside Excel where you can write normal music notations, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and with duration and whatever, and it builds a program for you which it automatically compiles it using XDT99, and it automatically fires up Classic 99, and it automatically also lets you hear it. So from Excel, you can hear music coming out from a program which actually can run on the normal TI-9948. So at least I've done all that, but I had no composer yet. And I tried several people, and when they saw the Excel, they said, we don't know how to compose in Excel. It's not our natural habitat. So what I did, I was asking around. Maybe I find someone who is a little computer savvy and is a music composer. And I was in a wedding, and whilst drinking some Diet Coke, I don't drink alcohol. I was talking to different people who I knew, and Jonathan came up, and I told him I'm writing this game, but I can't find a composer. And he said, I am a composer, and he's also very good in computers. And he said, come to my house and we'll start composing something. So I went there, and the first time it took us about 8 hours to compose I Want to Break Free. We'll hear that later on. And then we made another 2 sessions where I made We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions, and that took us about 12 hours of fiddling in Excel, but it was non-technical work. It was all writing music, finding the right duration, finding the right percussion. So at least now I bridged the gap from trying to find the data bytes required for GPL to work, but at least concentrate only on the music part, which is also difficult, but at least there are many more people who can help me just because I made that little bridge of Excel. And now we have 100% GPL game, which we can run on an unexpanded TI-9948. And the future is much, much better now with the introduction of this cartridge. I'm not making any commercial thing here. This is from my heart. With the final Grom 99, finally, we can start writing small programs, compiling them on our laptops, transferring them to a simple SD card, and immediately we can play them on our machines without all the steps that James Fetzner had to help me to put it on an Uber-Grom. So it was possible, but there were many steps. Now this is the other bridge. So my Excel is the bridge for music, and this is the bridge to make many more people write GPL games or GPL applications and make them run immediately. So, and then I even was making some small exhibitions in Malta and showing off the game and letting people play it, and there was a lot of interest. And in this particular exhibition, there were hundreds of people playing the game, one after the other. So that's my first part of the presentation. Now I would like to show you the Excel and how it bridges, okay, the music to GPL. Okay, and by the way, I would like to announce that I will be giving everyone the source code for BreakFree. I'm going to put it open source because through the source code, where I have a lot of commented lines, I do a lot of comments in my programming. You can cut pieces of of code from there and build your own. I even today and yesterday, I wrote a small slideshow presentation, like a media player, by taking snippets from my game and putting it in a small GPL program, which I will be giving you also, whereby, let's say, at Christmas time or a birthday, you can have your TI showing images. Of course, you have to draw them using Magellan. I don't know if you ever drew anything using Magellan. It's a very powerful tool which produces bytes, where we will put them. I will show you how to put them in a file, and when you compile, that media file will be integrated within your GPL program, and then you put it on the SD card, and you can have your images and music run off your TI-Treff. So I will go to this music folder. Now these are all my sound effects and music. So let's say this is the Excel. Clicking on Get Path will get you the relative path that you are in, because you can be copying it on your desktop, and that would be a different path from where I'm putting it on my desktop. So you just, only the first time you click on Get Path, and then you can write in your music here. This is the octave, this is the note. ADSR is attack, decay, sustain and release. It is a special code that I wrote. I have another tab here in Excel, whereby I am saying a piano starts off with a small volume, then it rises, and then it holds it a little, and then it decays. So writing in multiple lines here, like piano is made up of these 5 lines of values. So there's the volume, the duration, and the number of steps. Once you design your instruments there, you can use them in your score by putting here, I want a staccato here, so the note A will be in octave 3 with staccato number 2, and on generator 2 again I have C sharp, and so on and so forth, with a duration of 0.5. That's 0.5 of a second. But if tempo is 1, it would be 0.5 of a second. So if you then want to speed it up, speed the whole music, you just change one value in the tempo, and all the musical notes will go either faster or slower. So I click on Generate Code. It will fire up Exit 99 and Classic 99. And it will create like a cartridge called Music G for you. You press number 2. So I can stop it. I think you're familiar with this song. Okay, I want to.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you. Let's say I want it faster, so I go 0.2 here. Generate. Okay. So you'll need a lot of patience to write a musical score like this. It took us 6 hours, but at least it's time now. It's not a skill. You need time to write music. If you have that time, or find someone patient enough to help you find all the musical notes, then you can create your own music and easily transfer it to an SD card and play it on your machine. Now I've also written a small program This is in GPL. I called it show. Now, when you're compiling things in GPL, they have to end with the letter G. So this is something that is a must. So here I have show, and then the letter G, GPL. Then you compile it. I'm not going to bother you on how to compile, but it's easy to compile. Just one line of code to compile from that text that you will write in GPL into the binary file that goes onto the card. And once you finish that, you'll get this binary file. Here it's called showg.bin, and that is the file that you have to transfer onto your SD card and plug it into your machine, and it will come up as a cartridge once it's on the SD card. And I will show you what it will do. So you can fire up Classic 99, open up a cartridge, and this time the cartridge is called show.g, and it will show up as the number 2. And this is like a slideshow. It will get any image from Magellan and show it on the screen with music going on in the background. And this is a very, very small program. This is a very small program that actually you can have running on your computer. I will show you the same program now running on the computer. Okay, so I get the SD card. Okay, I already transferred it earlier this morning, so all I need is disconnect this cable. So it's exactly what we did on Classic 99, but on the real machine. Okay, so that's all from my side.
Okay.